It's live, pal. Adjust your TVs or your computers. We are back. I know at the end of the last time we streamed, we lost Zach, and I said if he came back, maybe we'll start again that night. But his internet went out because of a storm that we heard during the show. But he's back, and he's
That's
he's
right.
here, and we are continuing. We did talk about WCW Monday Night Nitro on January 1st, 1996, and we started to talk about WWF Monday Night Raw, the Raw Bowl, which is in Newark, Delaware, and Vince McMahon and Jerry Lawler are in commentary. And because I guess of some, well, I think we touched on it last time. Like Vince had a fascination of the Super Bowl because of the famous Super Bowl that happened in '95, and then the one that was coming up with the Cowboys in '96. So
Yeah.
that's why they had this weird Raw Bowl where everybody was decked out in their own NFL apparel. Like the Smoking Guns had their Cowboys. I think 1, 2, 3 Kid was Steelers or whatever. So yeah, and then Goldust was sent there, and Razor got pissed off and went to go beat him up, which was hilarious.
He beat up his usher.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we touched on it a little bit, but it's not really worth getting back into a lot. It was like a four-way tag match, four different teams, and they had those screwy rules where it's like, oh, you could tag the other guy's partner, and they're forced to fight each other and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Uh, and Owen Hart did that with the Smoking Guns at first, which was funny.
Yeah.
Um, but like, really, they just worked like kind of a, I don't know, I would describe it almost like a house show match,
Yeah.
and like, but it had like all this presentation around it, like it's all about football, and like Earl Hebner's dressed up like a football referee, and he even has like a headset, and he's making calling stuff on the PA system, throwing
Yeah.
flags. It, it's just ridiculous.
It was stupid, and I wonder like what people thought about this like when it came out. I wonder what the reception was.
Uh, I don't know, and you know the rule of thumb of ratings, where it's like the rating for the week you have is really for last week's show,
Hmm.
kind of thing. So I guess we won't really know what people thought about it till we watch next week's programming. You know,
Yeah.
um, I wanted to see if I could, at some point, if I get a chance to ask a question on Cornette's podcast, I want to ask him about this particular Raw. He's not really on the creative team yet. That's like next year, or it's like late '96 when he gets on. But I'm sure he has some kind of insight into it that we don't know about. So,
I kind of, I kind, so my voice just cracked there, but I kind of wonder if Cornette possibly set up Brett versus Stone Cold, because that sounds like what Cornette would book towards. You know what I mean?
according to what I heard, Brett is the one that set that up.
Oh, okay.
Brett basically was like, he could kind of call his shots pretty much like, who do you want to work a program with? And Brett said, I want to wrestle Steve Austin, because he'd been telling Vince and JR for like a couple of years, you guys need to hire Steve Austin, and they just didn't listen to him until like finally they did.
Hmm.
So he was wanting him in the company for like a few years, really. So
Yeah.
it's all his fault. um, but there's not much. It's not really worth getting into action in this. It's like there was like a bunch of stupid football jokes and puns on the commentary too. Um,
Hmm.
and there's like they kept doing these cut-ins of Brother Love rambling backstage by himself in the locker room, like he was supposed to be giving like a pregame speech or something, and everybody left, and he kept going like that was the joke, but it wasn't funny.
Yeah.
It's just a big clusterfuck, waste of like 20 minutes basically. That's how long it was. It took up pretty much almost half the show. This one thing.
Yeah. And judging by the air date,
Oh, I can't hear you.
oh, can you hear me now?
A little better.
Okay.
There it is. You got it there. Whatever you did.
All right. So, during like the holidays and stuff, like when it gets towards Christmas and New Year's, like usually when a show's on, it's like filler, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you have this like Raw Bowl, and then what comes right after it is like a fucking repeat from what happened in the Hogpen match with Hunter Hearst Helmsley. So like when you texted me saying like, "Oh, this is gonna be a rough watch," it was a rough watch, but I kind of like had my expectations a little low because of the Raw Bowl. I'm like, this sounds like like when they do the whole Thanksgiving turkey stampede match, usually every Thanksgiving, and someone eats a whole turkey or whatever.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure your expectations were low because that softens the blow a little bit. Usually, when you know you have to watch like a turd of like a TV or something,
Hmm.
it helps to know a little bit beforehand. So this is gonna suck. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But
and it's just I hate when it's super long because was there any like thing about it, like whoever wins, do they get any type of like award?
they
A set-
do. You must have forgot and didn't write it down.
yeah, I didn't write it down.
I did, but we'll get to that because we're not told right now that they tell us, oh, they win a trophy or something, but we
Hmm.
don't see them getting the trophy until later in the show.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, now I remember.
So Smoking Guns won the whole thing, but who cares? And this time, Uncle Eric and everybody on WCW TV were right to make fun of Raw and spoil it this time.
Yeah.
So, uh, I gave this a 4.4
Yeah, I give it a 4.2 out of 10.
because there were moments of things that were kind of entertaining, but it was just moments. It wasn't like the in ring action wasn't really all that great. It was more about all the guys interacting with each other. And like I
Yeah.
said, it's kind of like a house show match. Like that's what you see,
Hmm.
but it was what it was.
Yeah. And then it
Yeah,
moves on. You go. Okay.
oh, I was gonna say, yeah, Vince Lawler telling us next week that they're gonna have an announcement from Shawn Michaels about his future in wrestling,
Yeah, yeah.
and then like Lawler says, his sources say that he's retiring.
Well, he's kind of late. Well, not late, early on that because he does retire, but then comes back.
He loses his smile at one time.
Yeah. But they start talking about In Your House 5 and the Hogpen match, and then we get the whole Hogpen match again, and I was like, I already saw this. Fast forward.
Yeah, I don't know why they couldn't come up with some other fucking match. Like, you didn't like. Why not let Goldust beat somebody or something?
Or not even that, like like when Vince Russo, like the one thing I kind of agreed with him in WCW was showcasing the young talent. That whole thing where supposedly he screwed Hogan. We don't know if that was actually true or not because you can't trust Hogan on his word anymore. Um, but like at this time, when you can have someone fill that void, like no one needs to see that match again. In my opinion, that match was fun to watch. Triple H is one of my favorite. He is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. But should this get more TV time? Unless you're trying to sell the DVD, which not DVD, VHS during that time. Like that's the only thing I could think of is that they're trying to do that. But you could just play like 5 minutes of it and then tell them to go buy the fucking VHS and maybe do another 5 minute match with someone that we haven't seen before. You know what I mean?
or have Goldust be another guy to help him get over more or something.
Yeah, that too.
It's just something. Um, oh yeah, there was a that takes up like 10 minutes of Raw, by the way, the hog pin match, because they don't
Yeah,
play. It's not really in its entirety.
it's
Like
edited.
they cut it a little bit, but
Yeah.
you can pretty much see almost the whole match. But there was a halftime report football with Doc Hendricks who tells us that we're getting Diesel and Mabel tonight, and I'm like, why?
Again?
Why would you do this match again after SummerSlam? It's like part of Diesel's streak of like shit matches that Vince got mad about, basically. Um,
The only thing I can think of is like, remember when we had that shit match with Mabel? Well, now you're like liked again. Let's have that match again.
well, when I saw the match, I think I understood the motivation, and we'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
Then we're going to have Undertaker versus Bret Hart for the WWF World Title at Royal Rumble, which should be cool.
Yes.
Um, and Ahmed Johnson's going to fight Jeff Jarrett. That might be entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then they just roll right into Mabel versus Diesel.
Did you notice someone who was carrying the throne?
I didn't. Who was carrying it?
Good old Jeff Hardy.
Oh shit! I must have missed it. Damn,
Yeah, Jeff Hardy was one of the throne bearers.
that's funny. I always like how like when they're doing that, it looks like they're struggling. They're like grimacing to carry him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, fuck, man. That's a big boy.
Yeah, he's
Like,
like around 500 pounds, I think, at that point.
and he's the type of guy like I'm a fat fuck. I don't give a shit type of guy. Like I feel like if Yoko was on there, like Yoko would be like, "Hey, brother, I got you. You know, I'll make sure I won't put all my weight down." You know what I mean? Like,
He might, yeah, he might lean a little bit to help.
yeah.
Uh, but this, you're like, oh god, they're going to do Diesel versus Mabel again. They're going to have a match. Nope. Instead, what happens is Diesel squashes him.
Yeah,
Diesel
that was
squashes Mabel.
yeah, that was insane. And by the way, I am so jealous of the fans having those like trucker gloves and shit.
The black
Like,
gloves, yeah.
yeah, that was like cool to see the sea of black gloves while fucking Diesel came out. And dude, Vince is so stupid. This Diesel right now, like Diesel before and Diesel now, should be the title guy right now. Like we should be having Big Daddy Cool this Diesel versus fucking Bret the Hitman Hart. And I think, in my opinion, no offense to the Undertaker, because Undertaker's cool, but I
Yeah.
think Royal Rumble would have been better with fucking Big Daddy Cool versus Bret Hart, in my opinion.
I think they still have a return match shortly after Royal Rumble. Some point in February. I don't know when, but they do.
Hmm.
And it's fairly high profile match too. It's not like bullshit. Um, I think Vince just wanted to. Maybe he's wanted to take time to rehabilitate Diesel more. You know, it seems like that's what he's doing.
Well,
Um,
I also think like this Vince McMahon is still stuck in the past, right? Like he still has
yeah,
you know fuck, I already forgot his name. This is bad. Sports education guy. What's his name? The
Pete
chicken wing.
Douglas. Oh, Bob Backlund.
Yeah, there you go. Bob Backlund. I'm sorry, it's so late. Sorry. But but Bob Backlund, he brings him back. I know it's a favor and everything, probably. But Vince is still thinking comic book hero type of stuff. The bad guy versus the good guy. And things are starting to get a little weird with WCW, like slowly fading into like realism a little bit and
Yeah,
more edginess. That even the fans in WWF are starting to feel that now, where they like the bad guy, the big cool bad dude, like fucking Diesel.
Razor.
Yeah, and Razor too as well.
Yeah, they like that started after like Hogan's push. Just everybody got sick of that,
Hmm.
and I mean, really, I think patient zero for that for the WWF fans was actually Sid. because the thing with Sid is they were having Sid like kill people on like WWF TV. Like he was just you seen those infamous Sid jobber squashes where he just murders somebody.
Yeah.
They were cheering that, and he's supposed to be like a heel, and he got over because people liked seeing him just kill guys.
Hmm.
And then what happened was like when they started putting him against Hogan, people were cheering Sid over Hogan.
Yeah.
That
I mean, that's why
was
we.
like a few years before this.
I mean, that's why we had the. We might be. Oh wait, no. Hulk Hogan's not there anymore. But like when Sid eliminated Hogan and Hogan got really fucking annoyed and like cost Sid the Royal Rumble.
Undertaker too is another example of that. Where like
Mm.
he's introduced as an evil character, and at first he's scary, but the crowd changes and likes him pretty quickly. Um,
I think it's our generation. I think it's the '90s where where like we grew up with Spawn. Like Spawn is like a demon from hell, and we're just like, fuck yeah, that looks cool.
and Jake said something. Jake Snake Roberts said something one time too, where he was supposed to work a program with Hogan before, probably late '80s, I think.
Hmm.
And they did on house shows for a little bit. And he claims what happened was everybody was cheering him over Hogan, and they stopped it. That's why there was never like a program.
Even people started getting smarter near the end.
They were just getting sick of him because it was always him. That's the thing that nobody ever really got like a turn besides him
Hmm.
until Warrior did, and then he was different enough, you know.
Yeah, and you know it's like sorry we're going on too many tangents, but like you know what's really fucking funny is like Vince never got out of that mindset. You had
Oh,
Cena, who was like the next Hogan, where he was like literally pushed to the moon like Hogan, and then they tried to do that with Roman Reigns, where it got to a certain point. Vince still kept on going. I still think if the pandemic never happened, and I guess if Roman never got cancer in a way, I'm not saying that like I'm blaming it on cancer, but like all those events led to the tribal chief is the COVID thing and his cancer thing,
he
and then
him getting frustrated with creative too. I think that was like a
yeah,
big thing.
hmm,
Well, at least that's the way he tells it.
yeah.
But
So,
yeah,
but like that trend never stopped because Vince was always trying to find the next Hogan.
he did, and like he didn't. I don't know that he ever really pushed Brett like Hogan, and Brett would never let himself get pushed like Hogan. That's another thing. He'd spend too
Hmm.
much. He'd spend too much time trying to figure out. I want to have a good match with this dude, so we both look good. That's basically his thing.
Hmm.
Uh, and then Sean kind of gets that push, I guess. And Diesel gets that push. It doesn't work. Pushes Austin like that a bit, but again, he's kind of more business minded the right way, so it doesn't really. People don't get sick of Austin.
Hmm.
So anyway, Diesel killed Mabel. Like it was literally like he hit a big boot. He threw him in the. He like attacked him from behind, threw him in the ropes, hit a big boot, and pinned him for 3.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Because Vince was kind of he was pushing Mabel kind of. Um,
Yeah.
he's like upper mid card heel basically. Uh, and then Mo tries to do something, and Diesel just jackknifes him. He just kills him too. So it's like I think maybe Vince got pissed at Mabel enough that he's like, "Fuck you, you're gonna get squashed."
Yeah. I think this is his receipt for almost breaking Diesel's back and then also injuring the Undertaker.
Other people, yeah, I think if I remember right, I think Henry Godwin gets hurt by him in the Rumble that we're gonna get see soon. And I think
Hmm.
that was like the last straw.
Uh, so squash, we don't give it a review. We don't give it a score. It's just squash. And then you're right. I actually did write it. I thought I didn't write anything in the beginning, but near the end I wrote. Then we get the Lombardi trophy because that's what the the NFL Super Bowl trophy is called the Lombardi, named after the first coach. I
Oh, it
think
is
it,
Lombardi.
yeah,
Oh, okay. I thought the names were similar, but I couldn't clearly remember it because I'm not really a football fan. So.
yeah. Which is presented by Steve Lombardi. Um, and with a cardboard cut of Lombardi's face, which I thought was hilarious. Uh, so
That
they
whole
have
thing,
like
yeah, that whole thing was weird. They dumped iced tea on him.
brisk iced tea.
They made sure to let you know it's brisk iced tea.
Mm,
They needed that plug.
that sponsor stays like all the way through the '90s.
It does, along with JVC Kaboom Box and
Stacker
Skittles,
two, Stacker,
Stacker 2.
whatever.
So I think Stacker 2s was around 2000, 2001 when they started that.
Yeah.
But that was silly. It was silly shit.
hmm Oh,
Um,
and we get the introduction of Vader.
that was actually cool.
hmm
I'm like, you see that video package for Vader, and you're like, oh, it's good hype package actually. And then it's like how his run starts pretty good, but it's like through the course of the year, it gets kind of iffy, and then
hmm
the SummerSlam match kind of kills Vader's push.
Yeah. And wasn't Corny managing him?
That's right.
Cool. I
He's part
mean,
of Camp Cornette.
I know we don't really get a good Vader run in WWF, but I'm kind of excited to see him in WWF. So,
He still has some cool moments, and there's like some cool matchups that do happen.
hmm
It's not like a all horrible shit the bed run. Like I think that his run's better than the shit he was doing towards the end of his WCW run. Maybe my opinion's going to change after I see it all. But
maybe, but I actually did hear that opinion that this is a better run than WCW near the end. So, um, yeah, we get that, which is cool because that's so what Vader would do. He just have these packages of him working out and shit, getting all
punching bags and throwing shit and just roaring out in the mountains.
yep. And then we get the cheesy billionaire Ted's wrestling war room stuff, and I was like, I didn't write any notes. I just thought everything was so stupid.
I did write a little bit about it.
hmm
Um, that it's an infamous segment that people bring up from like around that time. And it's not just one time; it's like a series of segments they do, vignettes, whatever. Uh, and Vince thought he was making fun of WCW with this, but it just came off like really lame, actually.
And you know what? You're giving free advertising to WCW in a way because you're gonna have people be like, "Wait a second, I'm a Macho Man fan.
I miss
I'm
the
a,
Macho Man.
yeah. Let me go see what he's doing over there." And they're like, "Hey, this is pretty okay. It's not as stupid as Vince is trying to make it sound like."
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'll give it a little credit that there is some validity to them making fun of how old their main event stars are. It's just like a fact. That's what they're
mm,
pushing right now. I mean, not totally, because there's Lex Luger and Sting are younger,
mm,
and then they're pushing the Giant. He is young, but the whole idea of the segment is just Billionaire Ted wants his stars to do exciting action in the ring. And the Huckster and the Nacho Man can't do high impact moves or top rope moves. They can only finger point or do the hand to the ear thing.
mm.
But here's the thing, though: the implication is WCW programming doesn't have exciting action like WWF has, but that's actually incorrect. Like WCW has a cruiserweight division where there are guys that do crazier shit than what you do see on WWF TV usually.
Yeah, they got Eddie Guerrero, and soon they're gonna have Rey Mysterio's in.
You got Eddie and Uncle Chris, Dean Malenko, and some other guys.
hmm
And then uh, Macho Man has always been a guy known for his top rope offense. You just said he doesn't do top rope moves.
Yeah.
It's just not right. It just is silly and lame. And at least Uncle Eric sticks to cheap shots about their cards or their programming, and he doesn't really stray into stuff like this. For
Hmm.
now, he does later. He does make fun of some of that's not him. I think some of it's like he's doing these monologues on Nitro where he's calling out Vince McMahon or some stupid shit. That's too much. But like later shit where they were like, "It's Oklahoma," like that was that Ed Ferrara dude's dumbass idea to make fun of Jim Ross or something.
Yeah, that was poor taste, especially with the he made fun of his stroke and all that stuff. Um, but I still laugh, but also find it cringe when Eric Bischoff was like in the middle of the ring. I think he had like he came down in a
Harley,
ring in a Harley and stuff, and he was like, "Fight me, Vince McMahon," and I'm like, "Okay, whatever." That like I understand what he's trying to do to make it sound like the whole universe like this would happen, and he's kind of seeing if Vince has the balls to come on WCW television to fight him. It kind of makes you think if Vince actually took that up, what would happen? Would they
well,
just would they duke it out, or would they make business? And I truly think Uncle Eric would do business. Like I can totally see Eric Bischoff possibly getting a DQ. Like he would do like a DQ probably finish.
I could see him going all the way with it. Sure.
Hmm.
The thing is he kind of Vince would never do it though,
Yeah.
and he kind of committed like a Booker cardinal sin in a way, which is don't promote a match that you know is never going to happen.
Hmm.
And he should have known it was never going to happen. But that was kind of like something he did a little bit there. Like he does it other times too. I forget. They call fucking other people out, or some the wrestlers do it. They make the wrestlers do it. Whatever.
But this is still the late '90s, early 2000s, where men had balls, and when you call another man out to fight and he pussies out, you call that person a pussy. You know what I mean?
You do, but like, it's kind of a waste of time though, because you're at the core of it, you are promoting a match that's never going to happen.
Yeah.
So, but whatever. Like,
Yes.
uh, there's nothing else to say about this episode of Raw. It sucked.
It sucked big
It's
time.
probably the worst episode of Raw I have seen so far.
Would you give it?
I gave it a 3.9.
Yeah, I gave it a 3.8 out of 10.
It just wasn't good.
Yeah, very bad.
I mean, we can call it a strike, but I feel like it's not going to like matter that much.
No, we'll everybody gets a pass for this round.
This opening
Yeah.
volley.
Yep.
So mainstream programming's over. Now we're going to ECW again.
EC Dub in my hometown, Queens, New York. I used
Oh,
to
they
live
were
in
at Queens
Queens.
for that.
Yeah,
Oh,
and what do you call it? Let's see. Oh, Joey Styles. I don't know why I was like drawing a blank on commentator. He's the only commentator.
you're drawing a blank because you hate him so much.
Yes.
We don't really like his commentary. Like, I think it's. We talked about it a little bit in chat, but I said I think it's something people don't bring up enough. Is that how not good it really is?
Hmm.
I don't know, but
It just sounds crazy on the microphone.
when he's doing like these little segments like this, where he's supposed to be like Mean Gene or something,
Uh
he's
huh.
not. He's not that bad at that. But his commentary is like kind of all over the place. Like I don't know. Sometimes he's good. Sometimes he's kind of witty, and then there's times where he just makes you cringe or something. Uh, but it opens with Joey Styles trying to introduce everyone to like the show, like he's just
Hmm.
doing the show introduction. But Bill Alfonso comes in and he starts ranting and he's taking over. But Joey Styles has enough, starts yelling back at him.
Mm-hmm.
So like the ongoing thing's been Bill Alfonso is constantly interrupting ECW programming, and everybody hates it. And it works. It does work.
Mm-hmm.
But now he's like aligned with Taz. He's Taz's manager now.
Yeah, keep in mind, and I know you like made a description about him during the award show, but he's a really obnoxious, big nose, skinny railed referee that has a whistle and blows it constantly.
He blows that whistle if he's not ranting on the microphone. And he's really obnoxiously loud too. That's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, Joey Styles is kind of bowing back up at him until Taz shows up and he bullies him.
Yeah, Taz is like, "Don't mess with my dude." He's being
Not
all
my
New
dude.
York. Yeah.
Yeah, he's from Red Hook, whatever. But like Taz is now in his this is what everybody knows Taz as now phase. That's where he's at right now, the beginning of that.
Mm-hmm.
Then Todd Gordon comes out to attack Bill Alfonso because they have a feud that's been going since last year. And Taz is getting ready to probably destroy him. Todd Gordon, that is. But then 911 comes out to confront Taz. And then the ECW locker room comes out to break it up before the fight actually starts. And then El Puerto Rico, his name's El Puerto Riqueño. I'm not going to call him that. I'm just going to call him El Puerto Rico. He's such a generic looking dude that I'm going to call him that.
Mm-hmm.
He comes out and it looks like he's maybe supposed to have a match with Taz, and then Taz just suplexes the fuck out of him. Like almost kills him pretty much.
His like suplexes are so fucking scary to look at.
They're pretty high angle usually. People land pretty awkwardly when he does it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then Joey Styles starts yelling for him to stop, and then Taz bullies him again, only for 911 to come and save him again. And then the Eliminators come out, and then Jason and the Eliminators and Taz beat up 911 and Bill Alfonso, and Jason hug and get booze, which was funny.
Mm.
So it's like a whole angle and segment just took place that opened the show. And then Rey Mysterio comes out to make a save for 911 because they're kind of buddies,
Yeah.
which is funny. Just a big
And
guy, little guy thing.
and he got Rey Mysterio got a pop.
They love him.
Yeah.
And he's fighting the Eliminators by himself, Rey Mysterio is. And apparently it's a match now. Like, it just turned into a match. It's like, it's still something about the ECW they do sometimes that, like, gets on my nerves. It's like, it's just a match now. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay. So it's Rey Mysterio Jr. and 911 versus the Eliminators. It turns into a tag match. It's just for a while, 911's dead.
Yep.
Did you have anything to say about this?
No, I just wrote this is pure chaos. I don't know what the fuck is going on, and oh my god, it's a match. What? Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of chaos.
Yep.
It's like, really, it's more like an extended beatdown rather than a match.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like a big angle combined with what just happened before. And then Ray does some impressive lucha moves until the Eliminators take over.
Mm-hmm.
And 911 eventually is able to get up. And then the finish of the match is they play chicken with each other. And
I hate it. I hated it.
I hated it too. I was like, what the fuck are they doing? It's like they got done like whipping. They were whipping their asses a while ago. Like it was gang violence. And now they're playing chicken.
Yeah, it's like they're in a pool or something, and they're like, "Let's play chicken fight." Well, I'm like, "Oh, why?" And then like Rey Mysterio tries to do like a Hurricane Rana off of the dude, and it looks lame.
Yeah, like while they were doing the chicken thing, Ray did a Hurricane Rana to Saturn in the chicken position, which was really high and kind of risky, and it did look kind of cool, I guess, but it's like stupid at the same time. It feels like indie wrestling shit, like you'd see nowadays.
Yeah.
Let's do like gang violence, and then let's just end it with chicken. The fuck? Let's follow up a shooting with a stabbing. I don't know.
Hmm.
But the dumbest part of it though was when he flung him off of like he hit Saturn with the move. Cronus just stood there like a dumbass, like he was dazed, like he was supposed to be like, "Oh fuck!" Like he grabbed his head for some reason. And Saturn got pinned. That was the finish. That sucked.
Yep. I gave this a 4.7 out of 10. And the only reason why is because it's a shitty setup. Like, I don't need to have an authority figure to come out and be like, this is a match now. But I also don't want it to have chaos and then go into a match and then make me believe that. And then do weird shit like the chicken fight and be like, oh, this is, legit. Like, this is what they would do if a gang fight happened. No. You just, you turn this into like a shoot fight into a stupid stage fun fight, which took me out of my immersion, essentially.
That'd be like if a year later we're watching WWF programming and you see the Nation of Domination fighting the fucking whatever the, the the Hispanic gang was. Do you remember that? How there was like a Hispanic stable
Yeah, yeah.
and they were doing like gang wars.
Hmm.
It'd be like if those two factions were fighting in the ring, or they had like a match, like a big fucking 8-man tag match or some shit, and then it ended in chicken.
Yeah,
It's dumb.
that's so stupid.
I also gave this a 4.7.
Mhm. All right, so ECW starting off
Not
great.
great.
Yeah. um, I wrote on my notes. Is this when Stevie Richards and Blue Meanie come out to interrupt Joey Styles?
Yeah, they're a thing now. Blue
Hmm.
Meanie is here. Uh,
Yeah, which is later on when WWE or WWF absorbs ECW, like I low key can't wait until we see the JBL chair shot to Blue Mini because it's fucking sick. In two ways: sick because terrible for Blue Mini, and sick on how it like actually looks on TV. Because it's like holy fuck, that was sick to watch. It's kind of like with the whole JBL with the garbage can that throws it at Hornswoggle. Which, by the way, I love Hornswoggle because him and JBL recently did like like when they do like they go on stage and they like have a Q&A or something like that for fans.
yeah.
They recreated the JBL throwing a trash can at Hornswoggle, and Hornswoggle took another.
Oh god, that was probably funny. That was
Yeah,
probably a good one then.
yeah.
Um, so up next is Rob Van Dam versus Axel Rotten. Now we have a standing rule about either of the fucking Rotten brothers
Hmm.
that we pretty much skip whatever the fuck they're gonna do. But this time I didn't because it was Rob Van Dam.
Same.
Okay, I thought you would probably watched it too. Uh, and he's like RVD is like is early into him figuring out like what he's gonna become. You can tell a little bit
Hmm.
because he's leaning more into like martial arts stuff right now.
Yeah, he has like a gi on and everything.
Yeah, he's got like a little. His gear is like not quite there. It's like it's getting there,
Hmm.
but he does more like poses and shit, like when he's doing like moves. Um, but he's still a lot different from when we saw him in WCW in like '93 or '94 or whatever that was.
Yeah.
Uh, Rob is busting out some familiar stuff there too. Like we see the splits, the kicks, and all the dives and shit he's doing. And Axel Rotten actually just worked a match here, and it wasn't terrible.
I wrote something in my notes that is funny. I wrote RVD hits some weak looking. gay double thrust to shots to Axel Rotten, and I was like, "What the fuck was that?" Because he does like a
What?
double.
He goes, oh, he does like this or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I was like, why did he? Yeah, he drops out from his arsenal pretty quick, I think, after a while.
yeah.
I've never seen him do that before, so that was funny.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's like a straight match, and it's not. They're not doing retarded shit. I guess
Yeah, no blood. I don't remember blood being there.
there was no blood, and they didn't grab a bunch of garbage and were hitting each other. It was just a
And they,
match.
yeah, they didn't start from the outside either, which I was really surprised because I thought Axel Rotten would be like, "I'm out of here, bro. Come chase me." And I thought like Rob Van Dam would like jump off, the top rope into the crowd where Axel Rotten was, but that never happened, and I was totally surprised. I was like, "Holy shit, he can wrestle."
He
I'm
just
talking about,
chooses not to. Yeah, he chooses not
yeah,
to usually. I think. So,
yeah,
God. Uh, RVD wins with like a spinning front slam, like think of like a world's strongest slam, but he just spins
mm-hmm,
and he does a split legged moonsault for three. That wins it.
yep. I gave it a solid 5.3 out of 10 because I was like, "Hey, nice to see Rob Van Dam, kind of still a little green, and holy shit, Axel Rotten can wrestle. I didn't know he could do that."
Actually, gave it a six
Oh shit, you were higher than me.
because it was like they're working a match and like RVD's pretty good, even though he's not quite where he gets later. And I was surprised Axel Rotten could actually work.
Same. So, all right. So we went from a shitty match to an okay to an average match, which is
Yeah,
fine. And production's way better now. They actually have more camera people. I think they have a network now. They're on TNN, right? At this point, not yet.
they're still on like local access cable shit late at night.
Okay, so that must be later on then.
Yeah, that's a
Uh,
few years down the road.
but yeah, like things are looking up.
Yep, production's better.
Yeah.
Just like finally they got to that spot where it's like, okay, this is a lot more watchable now.
Hmm.
But up next is Too Cold Scorpio with Woman versus Mikey Whipwreck, who's champion for ECW TV Championship.
So I have to say between the manager from WCW, like Jimmy Hart, he manages a bunch of people, and it seems like Woman manages a bunch of people. So and Jim Cornette on WWF manages a bunch of people. So like this is what I love about the '90s is like when managers were managers, they were managing multiple people.
Yeah, they had like multiple clients.
Hmm.
And this is like here she's mostly managing. It was Sandman for a while. It was Shane Douglas at first, I think.
Hmm.
And then it became Sandman and Too Cold Scorpio like more recently, like within like the last 4 or 5 months.
Yep.
Uh,
All right. So we got Mikey Whipwreck, the Guns N' Roses concert goer, uh, Magic the Gathering champion, nerd,
he just looks like a
wrestler.
dude that he looks like a dude that would hang out at the card shop, but he became a wrestler. That's just what he looks like.
Mm. Still rocking that graffiti shirt.
Yeah, these wild '90s graphics tees.
Hmm.
Too Cold is still Too Cold Scorpio. It's just now he's like an entertaining asshole, basically.
Yeah, he has like ripped jeans and shit.
Yeah, it's like his pants are ripped, and he does this. He has like a whole thing now. Like he's just Too Cold Scorpio gets an extended entrance. We always talk shit about Sandman's long ass drawn out entrance, which not really he's not really doing much of anything.
Hmm.
He's just like smoking and sneering, and then like a woman poses next to him or something, and that's it. I know what's really happening is they're playing Enter the Sandman from Metallica, but like we don't see that.
Yeah.
so it loses a lot of its effect. But even if it was there, I don't care. It's too fucking long.
Yeah,
It's
and
not doing anything.
personally, I'm not a Metallica fan, so like even if it was Enter the Sandman, I'd be like, fuck that shit. I don't care.
Hot take. That's when Metallica started to not be as good. But that's another discussion. Uh, what I like about Scorpio getting an extended entrance is he's doing stuff the whole time. He's interacting with fans. He's being like a cocky ass heel, and he's like reacting to shit. And I'm like, why is this dude not world champion? Why is it fucking Sam? Just come on.
hmm
He's got way more personality, in my opinion. Uh, this Scorpio gets on the mic and he tells Mikey that if he thinks Cactus Jack is going to save his ass tonight, and if he thinks he's walking out the building with this belt, he's got another thing coming. And then Mikey tells Scorpio that if he wants the belt so badly, he'll just give it to him. And Scorpio's like, "What?" And then like he's like, "Yeah, I'll just give it to you." And then he hits Scorpio with the belt twice, which is like, okay, that was kind of funny. That was clever.
hmm
So that jump started the match.
Yeah.
Uh, what do you have to say about this one?
No, I mean, Too Cold Scorpio, like, usually when we saw him in WCW, we were always impressed. Like, he improved each match until he, like, disappeared out of nowhere in WCW. We were just like, shit was heating up with him. But we always saw the face side of him where he was, like, doing all his dance moves and then he would hit, like, a fucking crazy finisher move on the top rope. This, I feel like he's better as a heel
There's a
because he
lot of
can't.
that.
Yeah, because he can wrestle on the ground, and he could also like fucking tease people with the high fly stuff. Because he could be like, "Fuck you, I'm not doing it," just to make you guys go ooh ah and all that stuff. So I like that he was doing more heel tactics in that, and just the shit that like when he was in WCW, he was a lot smaller. He wasn't as buff as he is now in ECW. I think it's a little combination, a little bit of fat and a lot of bit of muscle. Uh, Probably because ECW is not paying that much, so like you can't hit the gym as much. I guess maybe I don't know. But like him being all buffed up and beefier and still hitting those high fly moves is so fucking impressive to me. And it just, I had the same response to you. I'm like, why the fuck is Sandman the ECW champion? It should be Two Coat Scorpio.
It's just like after I've seen like enough of this guy on ECW TV, like when I was doing ECW homework, I guess.
hmm
I was like, he's so fucking awesome. Like in ECW, it kind of sucks that he never got a run like that anywhere else with like better, you know, better production and maybe better booking. I mean,
hmm
he's booked good here, I think, but you know what I mean. Higher profile, like push. Um,
And Mikey Whipwreck is still doing crazy shit where he like flies outside the fucking ring and stuff, and I'm like this is very like you're gonna fuck up your body for the rest of your life.
and he did because now he looks
Yeah.
like he. God damn! You see a picture of him now. He looks rough as shit.
hmm
It did not age well. Um, man, like Two Gold Scorpio does a bunch of cool shit in this match. Uh, one of the, I've figured out one of the favorite things Mikey likes to do in a match is have somebody do the free fall flapjack. You know what I mean? Where he like somebody throws a smaller guy really high in the air and then he just falls. I
hmm
love that spot though. Um, the whole time Scorpio is like beating the shit out of him and talking shit to him, and Mikey is able to like kind of come back a little bit after a while. He hits an enziguri, the move that killed Shawn Michaels. So it's dangerous.
hmm
He hits a couple drop kicks and a dive to the outside. Now Mikey's in control. And they get back inside after a little bit. Scorpio's back in control. He's getting heat. He grabs a chair from the outside. He does a way better running chair shot than Hogan. Like he just, it's like he rushed him, just went bam, just like shoved it into his face.
hmm
Um, And then he hits like a crazy looking scoop power slam. I've never seen him do that before. And does the spinning leg drop out of nowhere for like two. He's like he did both those things like really fast. And then he breaks the cover because he wants to fuck Mikey up more. Like this is what he keeps doing in the match. He's like, no, this is not over yet. Or he likes to tease. I'm gonna do the shit. You want to see the shit? The top rope shit. Um, this goes on for a bit where he keeps hitting big moves on Mikey, but not covering him. Like tombstone power slam, top rope moonsault, superplex, and he keeps breaking the cover. Finally, Scorpio's hitting like the twisting top rope splash. I don't know what the fuck to call that because it's just what it is. He jumps off the turnbuckle, does like a spin, and splashes the guy.
It's so sick.
It's sick. It's so simple at the same time. Like I'm not saying it's easy to do, but you see like a lot crazier shit than that nowadays. You know, but that still looks like really cool.
I'm like so impressed in like elbow drops like today. Like when I see an elbow drop today, I fucking freak out because like, funny I say freak out, yeah. Like that's what I think is like Macho Man does it. Like that should fucking take out people. Even Shawn Michaels does his own elbow drop, which is fucking cool too. So
I'm a fan of a nice classic top rope elbow drop. The this has gone on for so long though that Scorpio keeps hitting him with these big ass moves and not pinning him that the referee actually asks, "What's the matter with you?" This Scorpio goes, "I'm kicking his ass."
Yep, I like that.
And he gets Mikey in the corner to set something up, and he hits like a tornado. Mikey hits a tornado DDT on Matador, and he gets two. It was close.
Yep.
Mikey does some more moves, and then Too Cold stops him with a top rope back superplex, and then Raven comes out, and it looks like he's going to help Mikey for a minute because Scorpion's like, "What the fuck?" Like he's expecting him to attack him, but then Raven DDT's Mikey for some reason, and then Scorpio hits a huge power bomb, and he does that fucking. This is the move that makes me bark out every time I see it because I don't understand it. He hits a fucking reverse somersault leg drop.
Yeah, which I found out he calls it the bomb, by the way.
Oh, that's the bomb?
Yep. So
It is the
I,
bomb.
d- I do have some beef with the Raven DDT and Mikey Whipwreck. Now I know they build it like, Scorpio's doing all these big moves and not pinning, and then all of a sudden he gets like the shot up because like he's like this, superhero type. Not superhero type, but like he's a face that comes out of nowhere and does a comeback and
Yeah.
does a DDT, tornado DDT, and almost gets a two. It's like, but Scorpio was beating the shit out of him like bad. Like, why is Raven's DDT like the one that's gonna finish him? But I guess it didn't technically finish him, but it's still not like a solid victory for Scorpio. He needed Raven's help to do it. It kind of like sours it for me a little bit, but I also understand that they booked around it really good as well too, because even though Raven did the DDT, Scorpio still did the bomb and like got the finish on his finisher. So like I'm okay with it. But I also am like, why do we need Raven in there? Maybe I'm missing some storyline that Raven was like messing around with Scorpio and this was kind of like a swerve in some way. But I just didn't understand why Raven needed to be in this match.
As far as I'm aware, because I watched everything up to the end of '95, there's no connection there yet.
Mm,
So this is just new. Um, it could be maybe Raven's fucking with Cactus via Mikey. That's the only thing I could think of
maybe that makes sense.
because they're not really friends anymore, exactly. Uh, but I like this match. Pretty good. I gave it a 7.5. Whoa, excuse me.
Bless you. That was
Oh
like
my
a
god.
shotgun sneeze. Uh, I gave it a 7.6 out of 10. I'm really high on this match.
Yeah, it was good.
Mm.
It's nice.
Um, Match number 4, Taz with Bill Alfonso and the Shaw Hack Myers.
Shaw.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's gonna sound fucked up because like I didn't really care for Taz when I watched ECW. I always thought he was like this short fucking like wannabe strongman in a way because he always walked like this, and I thought that was so fucking stupid. Um, I always liked Rob Van Dam. I liked Mike Awesome. Um, and I also liked Terry Funk because I always thought Terry Funk was a fucking crazy fuck, which he is. Um, but like Taz, I don't know. And the whole Hack Myers, like the Shaw, when the fans like say that shit. Like I get it, fans are having fun, but what is Hack Myers like? What is his role in this whole thing? He's just some dude that like is a badass and just he gets with the fans with the whole Shaw thing.
He's the Shaw.
I guess.
Don't know. I still never heard like a good explanation for how that happened. Uh,
Mm,
Not that I've searched much, but it just seems like he's just a mid card babyface that people like in the ECW fans in their shows. Uh, and sometimes he beats people, but usually they use him to get somebody else over more. Like this, that's kind of his spot. But Taz is interesting to me because I've never seen a lot of his work actually
mm,
till he was in WWF and he was already like kind of fit. At first, I think he was still physically capable, but like it's like his injuries caught up with him more there, and you didn't really get to see Taz the way we should have for a couple of reasons. One, because of that. Two, because I don't think Vince saw it like with
no, he's sort
Taz.
of short, dude.
He saw a short, angry guy.
Yeah,
But there's a bunch of short, angry guy wrestlers that got over. So he's
true.
he's built, I think, better than some of them. He's wider than he is tall. That's Taz's thing.
Mm,
That's why he has to walk like this. uh, like I like Taz's gimmick like this right now. I like this,
mm.
and they're kind of building him like as this MMA pseudo tough guy. And I'm I'm interested to see how it plays out. But this is like Taz fucking kills this guy though. That's not something you usually see. Hack
Yeah.
Myers usually has like an okay match. Usually it's like almost 10 minutes or something.
Mm.
But this time Taz beat the fuck out of him. Hit him with like a bunch of sick looking suplexes and judo throws. And then Shaw hit some punches and an elbow, but none of that shit matters because Taz does a German suplex and almost killed him.
I got a question for you. In Taz's prime, whether that be now in early WWF when they were like doing vignettes for him and calling him the suplex machine, do you think he would have fared well with Brock Lesnar?
Hmm. I don't know. Like, I think it's kind of hard to tell too because of Brock's mentality back then is different from
Mm.
where he's at now. I think they would have worked together. They could have worked pretty well together. I think Kurt Angle and Taz could have worked together, but that didn't really end up going anywhere.
Yeah. And I figured like because Brock and Kurt Angle had such great matches, uh I think Taz could have done something with Brock if he didn't have was so injury. And I also think Vince probably saw all of his suplexes that were kind of risky in some way because Taz when he does those belly to belly suplexes and shit and you see their head like bend, I'm like, holy fuck. Like,
The thing about Taz is because he's so short, like that dude's probably like 5'7" or something. He's like roughly my height. I think I might be a little bit taller than him,
mm,
and I'm short. But he's so big He's so short. His center of gravity is a lot lower. Typically, guys that size can't be throwing people around like that, but he
Yeah.
can. So it's
Hmm.
like all his fucking suplexes and throws look a lot more high risk because like the angle is a lot shorter.
Yeah.
But he hits that German suplex and he does the Taz mission, the kata hajime. That's the judo hold that it is, and
Yep.
he gets submission.
What'd you give it?
Showcase. I liked it.
Yeah, I gave it like a soft squash because we're not. I mean, we know Hackmeyer's like usually he's either burying or getting the win. So
Soft squash, is that a squish?
yeah, I guess so.
Squish.
A little squish. Oh
Uh,
man.
After that match is over, Taz grabs a mic and says, "This is just the beginning of all the beatdowns. Fuck off!" Like he's just really pissed off. That's him.
He's a New Yorker. All he knows how to do is I'm gonna beat your balls off. Fuck off.
Fuck off
Yeah.
from Red Hook.
Yeah.
You've ever been in that area of New York?
No, I actually never heard of Red Hook before. I
It's
I I think it's a fake place, to be honest. I've never heard of it before.
is it part of? I wonder if it's part of Hell's Kitchen, and it's like this little subsection of that or something,
Hold
or
on.
if it's real, like what you're saying. I don't know.
Oh, it's actually Brooklyn. That's why I never really went around in Brooklyn a lot. So that makes a lot of sense.
Is Hell's Kitchen in Brooklyn?
No, Hell's Kitchen is in Manhattan.
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
I'm not from there. I don't know.
Hmm.
Okay.
Um, Jimmy Del Rey's here.
Yeah,
I'm
I was
like,
excited at first.
yeah, he's with Mr. Hughes, and we have B Ray Dudley with the Dudleys, and like you explained it to me when we were doing the award show what the Dudley Boys were. It just looks like a bunch of like hicks putting on wrestling gears.
I guess that's what it's supposed to be. Uh, like these inbred. The implication is they're inbred, and
Hmm.
they're all special
Yeah.
to varying degrees. Uh, so you couldn't do that nowadays.
Mhm.
But the Bubba thing is dumb, but it's over.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, actually. Somehow, like, it's weird. Like,
It's so funny that we get to see it here and then part of WWF later because Vince probably was like, that's fucking funny.
I think he wanted him to do the stutter at first, from what I remember. I think I remember Bubba talking about it,
Mm.
and then like somehow he talked him out of it. He had to because what happened was they got past the stuttering thing when they were still in ECW, and him and Devon became like the Dudley Boys, like what we know.
Yeah.
And when he first got there, though, Vince wanted no do the stutter. It's funny because Vince probably thought that was funny. And then he's like, "All right, I guess I'll start doing it again." And then Bubba did it for a bit. And he's like, "I can't fucking do this. Nobody's gonna take it seriously here."
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, when he was doing the stutter, that's when he powerbombed fucking Mae Young into the fucking table and stuff, and that's when he had that like
The stare,
weird, that stare, that weird look.
the 1,000 yard stare. That was the start of him getting away from it. Actually, was that
It makes sense because he had to put an old lady to a fucking table to get that stutter out. Makes
he
sense.
changed it. He changed it to being crazy. He was right though. If they did that stutter shit in WWF, they would have been fucking jokes. Everybody would have made fun of him and shit.
Yeah, they would be like the modernized bushwhackers, and essentially.
It wasn't like ECW. It's like you had to in WWF you had to be fucking cool. If you weren't cool, you were bullshit. Nobody cared about you.
Or you could be an odd fuck like Goldust and have a stutter because he fucking touched an electrical box and like teamed up with Booker T and shit. Like,
Yeah, that happened. Oh, that shit's funny. Um, Unfortunately, I don't have anything to say about this match because it's one of those super cut matches. That's what I call them, where
mhm.
they edit the fuck out of the match. And you basically don't get to see anything that meaningful of it.
Yeah, apparently they said the match was longer, but it was only 3 minutes shown, and it looks like it.
So I don't rate these.
Yeah, it's essentially I think it's just showcasing. Because I did research, the Heavenly Body showed up at ECW like a month ago, um, and and we call it the Dudleys. I guess they're trying to show off that stable tag team, whatever.
That reminds me, in this match, Joey Styles was making little remarks about Tom Pritchard. I don't know if you caught it or not,
I didn't know because usually when I hear Joey Styles talk, I go, "You're an idiot." But
but he was making these little comments about Dr. Tom, about how he's gone now, and he was going to be. What did he say? He shaved his hair, and he's gonna go be somebody in the Body Dog. Like it was a reference to how he's gonna be in the Body Dogs, and there's gonna be a tag team with Skip.
mhm.
Um, and man, he looks weird when he's in that tag team. I can't remember his name when he's with them, but you'll see him soon. And
Okay.
god damn, he looks weird with short hair and shit. It's just not right. He really didn't want to cut his hair.
uh, Mr. Huge now has a mic and talking to the Dudleys. Huge says he has someone who can teach but proper English, and here comes out Dean Douglas, the franchise.
Well,
And I
shit,
got yeah. I gotta admit he got a pop from the ECW crowd. The ECW crowd loves him.
they did, even though he
Yeah.
sold out before.
Yep. But you got to think about like in the '90s. Like I always think of myself like in the '90s. Even like when I started using the internet, I really didn't really look up WWF information that much.
Yeah.
Because it's not as like today where social media like oh my god fucking The Rock is backstage, so like maybe people not knowing the dirt sheets about fucking Shane Douglas, like that's a good genuine reaction. And that's what I kind of like. There's only been a couple of genuine reactions that I ever had recently, and that's John Cena turning heel because I've never seen it. You know, I didn't think it would happen, but it happened. And I think it's Seth Rollins cashing in on Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar because I was like, oh, they're never going to take the belt off of Roman. Oh, if they take the belt off of Roman, it's going to be Brock Lesnar. Never knew it was going to be Seth Rollins. So like when you have genuine reactions to like these moments and big matches and stuff without knowing all the backstage stuff that happens on social media, and I know someone would say probably then don't read the stuff on social media. It's kind of hard when you look everywhere and like ads pop up and say, "Did you know this happened?" and stuff, and you're like, "Fuck!" Now I know what's happening.
It's harder now because of all these stupid algorithms and shit. So it's like if
Hmm.
you ever look at wrestling at all, you're gonna start seeing stories from these fucking dirt sheet websites pop up in your feeds.
Yeah,
Before it was a lot harder to find that shit, even if it was on online.
yeah. But yeah, Shane shows up and he beats up the Dudleys for some strange reason. I don't know why.
He slaps Bubba, and
Yeah,
what I was really surprised by is that the Dudleys didn't try to attack him. Like they came up and slapped Bubba, and they didn't do anything. So what the fuck? Okay, this
it
kind
might
of
have
makes
been
it look stupid.
it might have been a Shane thing. Be like, I'm gonna slap you, and you're just gonna be scared of me, and or
Maybe,
stunned. I don't know.
but he does a promo, and it's better because it's not that stupid bullshit he was doing as Dean Douglas.
Yeah,
So
I'm not in a via satellite, different location, classroom, but somehow Razor Ramon finds you and beats you up, type of thing.
he broke the kayfabe of the classroom.
Hmm.
But that was that, and now Joe Styles' interview with Stevie Richards in the ring, along with Beulah and Blue Meanie.
Oh my god, this is a Jerry Springer moment, if I ever saw one.
I groaned. So I'll lay it out. So Stevie is now Studley Stevie Richards because he got to make out with Missy Hyatt at the last ECW Supercard, which was like funny because it got heat basically because it's like everybody doesn't like Stevie. They call him gay and they fucking want him to die and shit. That's like his role right now.
It's kind of like today when he does his YouTube videos.
People want him to die and they call him gay.
I guess. I mean, it's different language in today's modern society, but
Do
there's people
people
that
not
actually.
like his YouTube channel?
Some of them don't,
Why?
because they. It's the tribal thing because he always kind of like shits on AEW too much.
Well, his whole gimmick is he talks about wrestlers not being safe, and they have the most unsafe wrestlers.
Well, you know, AEW fans don't care about the safety of people's health because they want to see fucking crazy shit on AEW, like people bleed and possibly get hepatitis B in some strange fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I like his content, but
Oh, me too. I loved when he like fucking told Nia Jax like, "Hey, some of these women have fucking breast implants. Don't fucking sit on their chest
damn,
too hard."
he
Yeah.
straight went there. That's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's by accident usually for her, but yeah, that's a whole other rigmarole.
Yeah, I don't think she's being malicious. I think it's just like she wants to have a good match, and I think she feels like if she holds back and pulls her, moves, like not hitting full force, like it's gonna look shitty. Or you could have a moment where she goes by hole, but like,
My whole
yeah,
she's not like Yoko Brother, where he could just he can pull it back and it doesn't look like he did at all.
yeah. I think in my opinion, I think she needs to watch uh Yokozuna's matches and try to replicate it in some way.
Figure out how he did. Him and Rikishi would do the
Yeah.
bonsai drop.
Mm-hmm.
Um, anyways, though, Stevie says he's the only American male because he's better built than Bagwell and better looking than Riggs, which was fucking funny.
Yep.
And I like Stevie, but anyways, he says that Beulah's been neglected lately because Raven's been partying too much, so he's gonna kiss her now, and she doesn't want him to do it, and he keeps trying, so it's like creepy. And then eventually he's like, what's your problem? Is it because you're Raven's girlfriend?" And she goes, "No, it's because I'm pregnant." And then I was like, "Oh my fuck, what?" Yeah. And then it got worse somehow because Raven came out to confront her about it. So, and then he started calling her stupid and says that she's supposed to take the pills every day, but she isn't. And then Raven starts beating up Stevie, and then she's like screeching and yelling at him. It's like, "It isn't his either. It's Tommy's." And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, here's what I would have done based off of comedy, and I think it would have paid off a little bit more better. But instead of Tommy Dreamer, and I know why they're doing it, so they could still do the Tommy versus Raven storyline, essentially.
Yeah.
Uh, but I think it would have been funny if she was like, "It's Blue Meanies."
That would be. I don't even know how to react.
I think that would have been funny because, like, it's so like when you watch WCW and WWF, it's like, oh, the good looking jacked guys get the good girls, and then like you watch ECW, and you get like Blue Meat, he gets the semi good looking girl. I wouldn't say she's very hot.
She's
She's
she's got a
okay.
look. She's got a
Yeah.
look. Um, Raven attacks Beulah though, and then Tommy saves her. Whatever. The dumbest shit ever happened after this though. When Dreamer power drive Raven head first into a pie. And I was like, fuck. What a way to end that.
Yeah.
Wasn't That's not the first time we see a pie come into play. What the fuck was that? Oh, did the pie do extra damage?
They must have went to a bakery in somewhere in Queens, New York, and they just got a bunch of pies. They'd be like, "Oh, you're gonna be at the fucking whatever place you're at. We're gonna give you a bunch of pies. Just do advertising for us." And they just fucking pile drive people on pies. I don't know.
Silly ass shit.
Hmm.
Uh, you got anything else to say about all that mess?
No, I just thought it was kind of fucking weird, and that's all I got to say about it.
It's like the stuff about this time period I don't like. Is this kind of thing?
Hmm.
I'm pregnant. I had a miscarriage. I'm cheating. I, this shit makes me just roll my eyes. I don't know.
Yeah. Sandman time
Yeah. So our favorite wrestler comes out. He's
with
still
woman.
he's with woman. He's still ECW champion,
Hmm.
but he's fighting Conan. Maybe you know. Did you see the clip of? I think it was from last year when oh hell, what's his name? The guy who's like managing Don Callis in AEW. Did you see the clip of him in Mexico where they're doing like a press conference? It's after like a match that some Kenny Omega had a match with one of his guys in Mexico, and then like a photographer or something tackled Don Callis at this press conference, and he's like, you hear him go, "Ah, it's what the fuck?" Like you hear that, and he's like, "Conan, Conan!" Like he's calling for Conan to come save him. It's funny as hell. Every time I hear Conan, I think of that. Uh, so Conan is fucking jacked here, by the way.
Hmm.
I've never seen him look like this. Like it's weird. Um, maybe it's because maybe he has the same build in WCW. I just forgot because he's wearing like fucking baggier clothes and stuff. He wasn't wearing like wrestling gear.
And when he was in WWF, he was that one character, right? That had like a whole get up stuff.
Max Moon, yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Uh, you can't see a physique through that. It's like a fucking costume.
Hmm.
But he's in pretty good shape here. Uh, Conan gets Sandman and like he's wrestling him at first. This is what's happening. Conan is out wrestling Sandman. Does like a crazy looking Indian death lock, and he transitions it into a front face lock while he's keeping the hold on. That looks sick as hell.
Hmm.
And then it was okay while this stuff was going on, and then it just degenerated into everything that sucks about Sandman matches. The worst part was when they repeatedly hit each other with Singapore canes.
Yep.
And then Sandman won because both guys collapsed after that spot, and one helped Sandman beat the 10 count.
I hated it.
Ugh.
I actually gave this a 4.9 out of 10 because like I actually gave points to Conan because it looked like he was trying and Sandman didn't know how to work and he just went Sandman techniques of being like I'm gonna use my sticks and woman's gonna help me and stuff and I don't like Sandman. He sucks. I don't understand why people like him still today.
He is one of those ECW things that is like I don't get it. Like we get we get that. We get there's other things we get like Public Enemy.
Hmm.
Uh, you know, I don't really get Sandman either because it's like he kind of like the only okay I do get it sort of. It's just the violence, the garbage, the chaos because that crowd likes that shit a lot.
Hmm.
It's fucking terrible, but they like it. Uh, it is what it is. It's kind of like the pro wrestling gorilla argument, where it's like they're doing obviously fake wrestling, but that crowd fucking loves it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sucks, but that's what they like.
I
Uh,
don't.
I like that you called him his sticks. That's what we're gonna call that now. Sandman gets his sticks. I give it 4.6. Conan helped me tolerate it more, but yeah, it got stupid.
Yeah. Uh, we go. Here's the thing. Like, was the ECW championship on the line for that match?
I think it was. It's just that he lost.
Maybe this. There's so many connections to AEW and ECW. It's like sickening because like ECW seems like they don't care about their world champion.
Kind of like I guess it changes eventually. I mean, Sandman they get that thing off of him eventually, but
Maybe Paul Heyman saw like I don't know who to put the belt on. Maybe when Shane Douglas comes back and he's the franchise again, we put the belt back on him. But like I don't. Maybe Paul Heyman is just feeding to the stupid ECW fans, being like they love this beer drinking, smoking dude that loves to beat up women for some strange reason. Um,
yeah, it's the reaction. Uh, I think Raven gets it next. I'm not 100% on that, but I think he does because you're going to go into the Raven destroys Sandman's family shit.
Good. I hope he fucking like terrorizes his family.
Yes, that's what happens.
Good.
And then they scare Kurt Angle away from ECW because of the crucifixion thing. Um, Stevie Richards with Blue Meanie versus Sabu. Every time I see Sabu now, I have questions about his gimmick. I remember I told you like, why does Sabu have an armband on that has his name written on it? Not like
Mm,
how it's not like how people wear trunks and it has like their name on their ass or something,
mm.
like Orton or Hunter Hearst Helmsley or something or Macho Man. He has tape on his arm and he wrote Sabu in a Sharpie on it.
Maybe he thought he was gonna have merchandising and maybe like it would upgrade from his Sharpie to like stitches in some way.
Why didn't he just get a tattoo that said Sabu on his arm?
I don't know.
That'd be
Maybe.
funny. So
Well, did he have any other tattoos, by the way?
I don't think he does that I know of. Like I just brought that up as a joke. I don't think he did.
Maybe it's religion and maybe like some Arab thing. He's like, I can't have tattoos because Allah says it's bad, or Muhammad or whatever.
Maybe. Here's another thing. Why is Sabu from Bombay, India, if he's Middle Eastern?
Yeah, that's another thing that like kind of like.
Like I didn't catch it till this time. We're like from Bombay, India. I'm like, what?
So let me think here. The Afghan war with Russia just ended, kind of.
Now
Uh,
we're getting into geopolitics.
and then like the World Trade Center one bombing that happened in '93. So like, were they trying to get away from the whole Middle East and be like, he's from India?
That might be possible, I guess, but it still stopped people from like doing like having the Iron Sheik do something or whatever.
I don't know. This is like, I don't know.
You see what I mean? There's so many questions. Just random. It's not even like that important. It's just like you see Sabu and you see things about him. You're like, why is he like this?
And he's being portrayed from India, and he's pointing to the sky. Is he pointing to Allah, or is he pointing to Buddha? Like, what's happening?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if in Buddhism Buddha is in the sky. Something tells me he's not,
Hmm.
but like I can't say that for sure. I'm not like a Buddhist expert.
Hey, keep talking about the Sabu match. I gotta something with my dog. I'll be right back.
Okay, so this match was I thought okay because Sabu is the thing about Sabu is he has like a 50-50 chance of hitting all his moves. It seems like, and the quality of the match is going to depend on how well Sabu can hit his moves at any given moment. This time, he pretty much hit all his moves. He didn't mess anything up. So, and because Stevie's like a decent wrestler, it was actually pretty good. I thought. Uh, it was more of a hardcore wrestling match than a garbage match. Like it wasn't just them doing chaotic brawling shit all the time, or like constantly getting trash to hit each other with, or fighting too long around the arena and you can't see anything, that kind of thing. Um, it was more like a straight hardcore match. Uh, and Sabu won after hitting the Arabian Facebuster for three. Um, it was good. I like that finish. It's cool. It seems hard to do though. It's like that thing where the Arabian Facebuster, if you don't know, is he has to grab a chair. And Sabu gets on the top rope. He has to like hold the chair behind his legs, jump off the top rope, flip forward, and land on the guy with the chair underneath his legs.
Yep.
Also,
Is that
I
the,
thought I thought that move would hurt a lot too when he does it. Like he has fucked his back up doing that for so many years.
isn't that the somersault guillotine leg drop that he
Yeah,
does? Yeah.
pretty much with a chair.
Hmm.
But I didn't have a lot to say about this because it's like I don't I didn't think it was worth going into play by play for. I just thought it was a pretty decent hardcore match. Like that's what I felt like the match was.
Yeah, for a hardcore match, which with me today, I don't like hardcore matches as I did as a kid. Because when I was a kid, I was like, "This is awesome and shit. Like this is crazy. I love it." Um, as an adult, I don't like it that much, but I enjoyed this match. It was okay. So I gave it a 5.9 out of 10.
I gave it a 6.7.
Oh, you're a little higher than me.
Sabu hit all his shit and it looked good this time. And then Stevie was like pretty good actually. Like I liked the story they did there. Um,
Mm.
I think this is the most good Stevie Richards has looked in a match up to this point.
Did you see Sabu hit fucking that clothesline? That looks sick.
Yeah, like Sabu can be good when he hits his moves. That
Sab-
seems to be the thing.
Sabu's like Hideo Kojima. Like when you tell him what to do, it could be a good match. But like when you have his creative freedom, he does like all his stupid shit.
Or it's like the wind just doesn't blow the right way and he misses all his moves.
Yeah.
Just something like that. Um, it was pretty good though. Then the main event is Public Enemy versus the Gangsters.
Fucking New Jack, baby.
So this is Public Enemy's farewell match, basically.
Hmm.
They're going to WCW, which I forgot. That's where they went.
Yeah, I forgot that as well.
They stay there for a while too. Like it's a few years.
Hmm.
Uh, New Jack's outfit is fucking sick. He's got like a blinged out Oakland Raiders coat, and then he takes it off, and it reveals he's wearing a fucking crazy Malcolm X T-shirt with custom Malcolm X elbow pads.
Yep.
I was like, that's actually awesome. And then New Jack's like, he wants the Public Enemy to do him one favor when they go to WCW to tell the Harlem Heat that he invented all this shit. He said he asked Santa Claus what he thinks of Sister Sherry, and he said ho ho ho. And I'm like, it's pretty
That was good. Yeah.
good. I don't have a lot to say about this because it's kind of a chaos garbage match, like what I was talking about. I don't like to see usually.
Yeah. But it kind of makes sense for both of these groups in a way, right?
It's more tolerable when they're doing it for some reason. I don't know why.
Hmm.
But I will say Mustafa and was it Rocco? Yeah. they're like having a wrestling match in the ring for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like New Jack and Johnny Grudge are having the garbage match all through the arena. So you got two matches in one, kind of.
Yeah, it was like a oh my god, it's it's gonna be a weird fucking like analogy, but it's kind of like jungle juice, right? Where you pour like all the alcohol beverages into one little fucking container, and you go, "Good luck," and like this is what you get in the match, and it doesn't hit you until like later on, where you're just like, "Oh,
Oh shit!
this is a match." Like what's happening?
You kind of do forget after a while that it
Mm,
is a match.
mm,
Uh, New Jack had a noose with like a fucking hook in it. Like, what was that? Just,
he was looking to kill even back then.
this shit was crazy. Uh, there's they kept hitting each other with pies. This is like, why the fuck are there pies? They went ape shit with this match.
Yep. I'm telling
Um,
you, they went to some bakery in Queens and they're just like they got a lot of pies for some
I
strange
guess
reason.
so. Yeah, that had to be
Yeah,
what happened. Some fan blew a bunch of money on pies and was like, well, "All right, let's hit him with this shit." That's probably what happened.
probably. Yeah.
Something. So there was a spot I hated in this match where Mustafa hit a Vader bomb on Rocco and he put him through a table. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And it was like Mustafa was selling the impact of his own move, which that's okay, that makes sense.
Hmm.
But then Johnny Grudge swoops in to pin him, and he gets a two. Like he pinned Mustafa while he was selling. That's fine. But then right after he kicked out of that, Rocco pops up and he tries to pin him. I'm like, what the fuck? You're through a table. You're selling it less than him. God damn it, that was stupid. Um, Public Enemy won when Rocco hit the drive-by, which is a senton bomb on Mustafa, and he pinned him for three.
Are you surprised by the victory? Maybe it's just Paul Heyman being different because usually when a team goes out, either they get squashed or they lose, right? Because they're essentially passing the torch to the next big team. Which I'm guessing, the gangsters are going to be somewhat of a threat in ECW. But it's so weird seeing like Public Enemy win. I guess they're getting a good send off, maybe.
He's got a streak of doing that kind of thing where he like wants. It seems like he wants to give fans a present. Like
Mm,
instead of the Vince McMahon thing, oh, you're in your hometown, you're gonna fucking lose and get embarrassed like that shit.
mm,
Paul Heyman's thing is, oh, you're leaving. Well, let's make sure you go out in a good way.
yeah.
Uh,
It-
and so I guess I wasn't really surprised.
okay. So what'd you give this match?
Give it a 4.7. It was weird because I didn't totally hate it. I feel like I should have, but I didn't.
Yeah, I gave the same score, 4.7. Cause
It's just because of Mustafa and fucking New Jack. I think there's some
yeah,
curve there a little bit. Like I
I'm
don't dislike Public Enemy, but yeah, I think that helped.
yeah. I'm still excited to see New Jack in ECW, but at the same time, I'm just like, I don't know, man. like this match is not a good opener, but at the same time, I guess you're showcasing that they're crazy, going against Public Enemy. Uh,
Crazy kids.
so I have to say this match of the night is going to be Too Cold Scorpio versus fucking Mikey Whipwreck, in my opinion.
Who would have ever thought?
Yes. This whole show was up and down because you'll have a good match or maybe a good two matches in a row, and then it would stink.
It was
Bad.
bipolar.
Yeah, it was super bipolar. And it may be because of how they shoot this thing, where they're trying to get a bunch of matches filmed so that they could spread it out in their programming. So that could hurt it in some way. Uh, but if I was sitting through this match, I don't know. In the '90s, maybe I would have loved it, but like if I had today's knowledge and I time traveled to this time and sat through the crowd, I'd probably go home. Just being honest.
Maybe it's kind of hard to tell. You don't know how you would react maybe in that crowd, you know,
Yeah. I mean, it
because
could be.
there's like an atmosphere those shows always kind of had.
Yeah, it could have been different, I guess. But I'm gonna be very logical on this. Uh, for the whole show, I'm never gonna give commentary like a plus because it's Joey Styles. But Too Cold Scorpio, the Dudleys, I'm kind of interested in a little bit about. Raven's storyline is kind of weird with the whole pregnancy thing going on with Tommy Dreamer. And I still hate Sandman. And, and Stevie Richards is cool. But yeah, I think I have to give this like a 5.3 out of 10. So I wasn't insulted like last year when we watched ECW. It is showing improvement.
Yeah, that's what I noticed watching more of the end in 1995 ECW. Like
Hmm.
from like the mid late summer to that point, I was like, these shows are okay actually. Sometimes there's a pretty good one,
Yeah,
but this show was okay. Like a lot of stupid stuff happened. There were several mediocre matches, but the show was saved by Too Cold and Mikey, and Sabu and Stevie was like pretty good.
yeah,
And I wasn't really a fan of any of the promos or angles, though. You know, none of
yeah.
that stuff really hit the right way this time. I gave it a 5.5. I'm probably going to knock it down to 5.4.
Okay. All right. So, like I said before, there's no strikes given to any show. But if I had to choose, I think WCW Nitro was more generous than the three that we saw, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was better. The ECW show was just okay, so it wasn't really like offensive necessarily. Even though there was like a stupid offensive angle I complained about, but
Hmm.
if anything was getting a strike, it was Raw.
Yeah, if we were given strikes, it would be Raw for this one, but we'll
I
give him a pass. Um, so next time we do get in some color, are we doing the 2 weeks of Raw and Nitro and then Royal Rumble, or are we just doing the 2 weeks of Nitro and Raw?
I'm pulling it up right now to see. Uh, okay, so it's double Nitro and Raw. So for 2 weeks. That's what we're doing next.
Okay, all right. So remember January 8th and January 15th of Nitro and Raw, and we will talk about it. But yeah, we finally got it. Sorry that it had to be in two parts, but sometimes when nature, you know, calls not in the pissing or shitting type, but the actual mother nature, uh, they don't care for our technology and sometimes takes us out. So
Sometimes
uh,
lightning hits shit or causes people to crash into a pole.
yeah, but yeah, we're back. '96 is going to be exciting because both WCW and WWF are going to have some changing programs. I mean, not yet essentially for Raw. I think WWF slowly turns into what the Attitude Era is,
Yeah,
because they have to get through, you know, all the gimmicks that they had from '95 and '94 that will slowly turn into Kane and all the stuff going on right now.
we're gonna have a slow burn. Like we're
Yeah.
96 is the slow burn start of Attitude Era,
Hmm.
but it doesn't really start until the later part of 96. I think I'd argue. But
I'm
yeah,
ex- I'm excited to see because we get to see fucking Mankind versus Undertaker, right? King of the Ring.
that feud's gonna be fun. Yeah,
Yeah, and then we're gonna get to see fucking Stone Cold at King of the Ring winning. Uh, when he tells fucking Jake Roberts you could do your Bible thumping, but Austin 316 just said, I just whipped your ass. And it's so funny that, like, Vince McMahon just didn't see money. He's like, this is going to be stupid. And then it, like, blew up.
Yeah, he's just like, let me be me. And Vince is like, okay, pal, I guess we'll see how this goes.
Hmm.
And then he did that. So,
Yep. Yeah, but I'm excited. Um, because there's a lot of history that happens during this time. Like, this is a big turning point in the wrestling business around this time.
yeah, 96 is a pretty important year for wrestling. Lots of stuff changes.
Yep. But anyways, if you want to catch more, getting some color, make sure you follow us on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe. Maybe you give us some comments. Um, and remember to watch January 8th and January 15th of Nitro and Raw, and we will discuss it here. But until next time, everybody, remember to get some color. Peace out.
See ya.
Let me do this one.
I was a very good witness to the madness that was WCW. I've got lots to say about it. What a bunch of idiots, imbeciles, stupid as it gets. Stupid, clueless idiot, a bunch of clueless nuts. Is there anybody here that's got any brains? Stupid, stupid, stupid every day, every night. So stupid. Just really stupid. The biggest cutthroat bunch of conniving, backstabbing idiots you've ever seen in your life. That is such bullshit. It's the work of an idiot. Pathetic, really stupid idiots. Are you an idiot? Lost idiot? He was